Canada next, where Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has again called for truckers' protests to end. The demonstrations have caused major disruption for nearly 2 weeks now. A large group of motorised protesters have rolled into several cities under the banner of Freedom Convoy 2022. They've besieged the capital's border bridge with the United States. The protesters say they won't leave until all vaccine mandates and other COVID restrictions are lifted. They're calling for the removal of Justin Trudeau's government as well. Canada's Parliament has held an emergency session to address the trucking blockade.
What is problematic, Mr. Speaker, however, is when speech,
and I think it's objectively the case that Canada's approach when it comes to vaccine mandates.
Well, with the convoy.
Police in Canada's capital, Ottawa, are cracking down on fuel and funding for the widespread protests against vaccine mandates that have swept the country. Demonstrators have shut down downtown Ottawa for over a week now, blockading streets and blaring car horns. That's prompted an interim injunction from a Canadian judge silencing the noise, part of a class action lawsuit brought on behalf of neighborhood residents. City Police Chief Peter Slowly told reporters Monday his officers have been working non-stop to end the disruption.
Our efforts, combined with the city's efforts, eliminated the GoFundMe. $10 million are no longer accessible to the demonstrators. There are other funding avenues that we continue to aggressively go after through intelligence, information, coordination with financial institutions, and all 3 levels of government. We will be relentless in pursuing the funding that has enabled this demonstration to continue to this point.
The so-called Freedom Convoy first kicked off to protest a vaccine mandate for cross-border truckers, before expanding into wider demonstrations against Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government. Trudeau has left Ottawa for an undisclosed location over security concerns. He denounced the demonstrators' tactics on Monday and called for an end to the protests. They've also sparked counter-demonstrations in some areas, and police are investigating active threats to public figures they have received. Authorities say demonstrators have been sustained by a well-organized supply chain, partly funded by sympathizers in the U.S. The protesters' supporters include former U.S. President Donald Trump and Tesla CEO Elon Musk.